Sling that jank.
Hey guys, Trent here coming at you with another deck tech. This time we're doing a modern deck. This deck here is Black Burn. I'm calling it Black Bomat Burn because it features a card some of us may be familiar with, Bomat Courier. So this deck has a little new tech in it, the Bomat Courier and Bomat Ruins. So this deck I found by Collins Mullen, who is well known for making the 5-color humans deck in Modern Popular recently. He did an article on Star City Games, so that's where I got this list from. I saw it and it looks quite cool. Wanted to try it out. I've played Black Burn in the past. Basically, the reason to run Black and play Black Burn is to have access to Bump in the Night. So with that, you have, with access to Bump in the Night, you have access to 4, 8, 12, essentially 16 1 mana 3 damage burn spells. That's on par with like Legacy Burn. So that's the only thing Black is for. And then we have a little green in the sideboard. So we'll go over the mana base. Play set of Black Cleave Cliffs, the fast land, access to our black. Couple Blood Crypts can be fetched. We got a playset of Bloodstained Mire. Fetch lands are important to fetch our black source if we need to, and turn on Searing Blaze. And the sideboard Grim Lavamancer as well. 3 basic mountains. The 2 Bomat Ruins. A little late game breach if the situation does come up, but hopefully it doesn't. Single Stopping Grounds to fetch for the sideboard Destructive Revelry. And a playset of Wooded Foothills. So we're pretty much maxed out on fetch lands. 8 fetch lands. 8 possibilities to turn on Searing Blaze during our opponent's turn, or Feel the Grim Lavamancer. So the 1-drops, again, Bump in the Night. Just a really good burn card. Of note, it can't be redirected to the Planeswalker because if it's the opponent losing life. But it's basically 1 mana, 3 damage to the opponent's face. And it can be flashed back. I will say that the likelihood of us ever flashing it back are quite unlikely, because if that's the case, we're probably losing anyways. Because we should never seek 6 mana in a game. Got our Goblin Guides, one of the best 1-drops in the format. Playset of Lava Spikes. This does deal damage to the player, so it can be redirected. Of course, playset of Lightning Bolts. Got the Monastery Swift Spear. There's a lot of 1 mana damage spells that trigger prowess on the Swift Spear. Just another fine 1-drop. Couple Shard Volley. As I said, that this deck has access to 16 1 mana 3 damage burn spells, but it actually has access to 18 because the 2 Shard Volleys, a little bit of drawback on these, especially when you think about the synergy of Bomat Courier, but it's another way to close out the game. And our Bomat Couriers. So far this has proven to be quite good. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see this more and more in Modern, because the thing about it is, in a burn deck, now in Standard, let's say, there is a mono red deck that's quite popular. You know, Bomat Courier is good enough to be, and powerful enough to be in that deck. Well, just imagine in Modern, you know, in Standard, you refill your hand with a couple cards and maybe get a 3-drop, maybe a Hazaret, you know, maybe a Lightning Strike. Well, look at what we're refueling into. Just straight gas. I mean, so the power level of Bomat Courier in Modern, I think, is much, much higher, because that ability to discard our hand and draw cards is going to be super powerful in a deck like this. So in the 2-drop slot, we got a couple Skullcracks, prevent life gain, deal damage to our opponent. One of the best 2-drop burn creatures ever. Of course, got the playset of Eidolons. Can't play burn without it. Playset of Searing Blaze. We want to be able to take out creatures while still burning the face. We got plenty of fetch lands to trigger this. And the playset of Rift Bolt. We're always going to be suspending it, most likely, and so it'll count as a 1 mana 3 damage spell. So for the sideboard, we got a couple of Grim Lavamenters. We just bring this in where it's good to maybe against mid-range where we can eat our own graveyard to try to shrink a Tarmogoyf and just try to win a little bit more of a grindy matchup. A couple Dire Fleet Daredevils, kind of like the same thing in those mid-range matches. We can eat something from their graveyard, maybe shrink a Tarmogoyf, and utilize one of their own spells against them. The extra Skull Cracks for any deck where we suspect life gain is going to be an issue. 3 Searing Bloods for the heavy creature matchups and matchups where they're using mana dorks like Birds of Paradise, Landwar Elves, Lotus Cobra, anything like that, Noble Hierarch. We want to be able to kill that. We always want to be able to kill those. And so this allows us to do that while still cracking the face for 3. Play set a Destructive Revelry against many different things that can be good against our deck, like Leyline of Sanctity, Chalice of the Void, and a couple Exquisite Firecrafts as a nod to some control decks that run counter magic. Maybe we can finish them off and they can't do anything about it. So that is Collins Mullins' Black Bomat Burn, as I'm calling it. We're going to run it through some matches and see how it plays.